There is a sound of feet moving forward. They are not stopping. They cannot, nor will they. Move they must. Forward. I am writing with this tone and this rhythm that sings the pride of a heroic ancient past because we live in a time where we are thirsty and crave to drink, and where we are burning and want to scream, where we want to move, but we cannot. We cannot because the progress of moving forward has become determined by the fluctuation of profit and the power of steel fed by gasoline to move machines and to transport people and products, while the earth is trembling underneath our feet. We are frozen in a shallow stagnation, distracted as stress is devouring us and technology has let us feel that we are on our way. It is a pace that locks the feet and imprisons the mind. And yet, we still think that it is by conquering the new, what is over there, that our problems will be solved, that will give us blissful happiness. Meanwhile, the consciousness of the end is moving ever closer. The end of resources, the end of history. In recent decades, we have been held captive by the contemporary age because we don't know what will follow. Aggression towards motionlessness awakens the inner beasts that are always resting within us, and red eyes are gathering at night to set fire to the languid comfortable, as the earth is trembling underneath our feet. In the beast lies the danger, for in it lies hatred that uses the most banal excuse for action, in feeling that one is solving the problems of the earth by hating others, just because they are others. This is why we must do something now. I do not believe that revolution can change the world. The age for that kind of radical ideal change has passed. It is now that we need to show what we have learned from historical mistakes that claimed one truth. For in the end, we are all beasts who cannot live in a utopian state. The nature of the beast will find a way to show itself, creating rift, and power relations will unfold, and the endless war of truth will soon begin. Let these conflicts be constructive, creative battles that build up the world and not cause the destruction to come and end lives in the name of power and possession. Let us prove the capacity of humankind to overcome the challenges that lie ahead by building a world, a new world, in seeing the world exactly as the world is. And remember, human nature is to move, forced and driven by curiosity, necessity, wishes, desires, and will. We continuously seek borders only to cross them. We must show that we are standing on the mountains of history and that we are able to create a new position for the world, proving that we no longer need to have power over the other or an endless craving for more. The drive to expand the empire of ownership, we must turn inward. We must conquer ourselves and fight ourselves so we can live without owning the other. There will always be something incomprehensible. Thousands of years of accumulated knowledge have become putrefied because they were perceived as truths. Truths that we did not question, truth for which we fought and dominated others with. Let this be the time where we can let go and choose not to annihilate difference in order to control what we do not understand. And then we can look to religions and mythologies and ideologies and histories to enjoy human understanding of life, letting us feel the cohesion from the roots that they sow. Then we can immerse ourselves in different perspectives and find new ways of perceiving the world. And then we can give in to paradoxes of what we might never fully grasp. Essential to life is to lead the battle. We must fight for something and be proud of it. The battle is not referring to selfish actions of violence. By the battle is meant the greatness in daring to have an opinion and to follow it, and to compete. It gives us a tall spine of noble pride. Precision is the most important source to know what you want and to see it. And contradictions and paradoxes meet in dueling discussions, not afraid to disagree. Let this be the time of inclusiveness. The incomprehensible world is there, and the comprehensible world needs to be rebuilt. Making expeditions for wisdom and knowledge from all aspects of the human sphere. We need to create versatile platforms to identify problems and develop solutions. In this way, creating a world that rises beyond the limitations of the nation state and embrace the global with responsibility. With a hope that we one day could look to a new thinking, which could give us something better to strive toward, and to look for new economic systems to understand the language of trade and tangible value. A note regarding time and value. When the ease of the machinery had not yet been replaced by the hand taking hold, it was a symbol of status to adorn people with things, with cultivated aesthetic shapes. Time was the requirement of action and creation in executing work. This was known to all. Time was status. With industrialization and the technological shortcuts, time was no longer determining as a factor that could measure value. Craft became easily copied and dispensable, and the conceptual age of thought was born and took over with its difficult measured systems of ungraspable value. We need critique. Critique can assure us that we can believe in our ideas and we can speak them and build them and hold the paradox that they will never be static truths. From battle and from knowledge, critique is to be built. And we must be like the sword, constantly cutting into our flaws and shortcomings and opening up for everything that we say and create, to find a greater perspective and to allow antagonism to flourish. Critique must move forward as fast as the marching feet, and just as the sword is visible, critique must be as well. The sword, even when it's hanging on the wall, is a reminder of the battle that is to come. When it is not in use, it is polished and sharpened and prepared, never growing tired. Thus, the critique must be forever visible and appraising, fighting to remove the anxiety of the hidden that, at this moment, is infecting our society with the corrosive, self-destructive blockages that make no one dare to speak for the fear of making mistakes and losing control. A heavy responsibility comes with the relative. If we refuse to take this responsibility, we will be locking ourselves into the tower of truth and seal the gate so no one can enter. We must not let this happen. We shall see ourselves in what we see, in what we do, in what we taste, hear, and smell and touch, in what we remember, and in the things that are around us. And there we can see others in the genuine. We must hold the reins to our lives close to us, so that we can hold this responsibility and avoid embarking on destructive wars that in the end only belong within ourselves with others. We must know ourselves, so that we can handle egoism self-critically to keep the rivers of bitterness, anger, hatred, and belittleness dry. In silence, we are alone, but we are not lonely, for we are alone together. We need to be there for each other in the presence that reminds us why we are here. One day, you must be the master, and the next day, the apprentice, constantly opening worlds for one another. Meaning lies in the cohesion that binds it all together. We need the material. It is our anchor, and it builds our physical world. Our creations can take an infinite number of forms, and we must follow what we create. Contributions that we send off forward and out into a time not yet known to us. To see the genuine starts with being conscious. There will always be one thing that presents itself more clearly than another in a given moment. This is an expression of what we look towards, where we are or where we are heading. To hear what is being said and to see the world as it presents itself to you in that moment, instead of being in a constant hunt after new and different states. We must approach the world as is here and now so that we can seize it. We must strive for a genuine life and for the genuine meeting where we are aware of our subjective selves and we meet each other in the sincere. Love is what fills the void between us and creates the cohesion in the invisible bonds that tie us together in the unspoken. It is both the comprehensible and it is the closest that we will come to grasping the incomprehensible. When the infinite reaches its hand towards us, if we dare to take it. Some never open their hearts, but will hide from love their whole lives. Some try, but get anxious when confronted with both the heights and the depths of its capacity. These words are to remind us that we must never stop loving. We must pursue it to the highest heights and the deepest depths, knowing that we will never understand it completely, but only can live it in the incomprehensible infinite. Love yourself and set yourself free to love others, and set them free to be what they must become. Meaning is the burning torch that we hold in our hands, shedding light in the direction that we move towards. With meaning, we shall build towers, towers that we must fight for, and towers that must fall, under the sharp sword of critique. In the constructive battle, we find motivation to move. We must strive for the battle with pride and with dignity, always able to bear direct confrontation, meeting genuinely to see who is the stronger one. Too proud to be hiding in intrigue, corrupt games of power, or the heavy seductive duet of overeaten sweetness and the foggy divergent communications to cover the genuine and divert our gaze away from problems that unfold right in front of us. Leading constructive battle should help us to constantly improve and hone our creations. The nerve in life lies in the unknown. And doubt is the premise that we must learn how to rein, so that we can act in our presence with the serenity of the certain. Refined senses react to what angels cannot comprehend. The laughter of lightness and amusement, and the grace in the sunrise and having feet to dance. The ability to absorb beauty and music that can reach us before words take over. To be together and share the time that we have in the calm satisfaction of joy over little things, or the overwhelming ecstasy of pleasure absorbed in the sublime. Senses that binds us to life itself and make sure that we are awake while it is happening. And never, never must feet stop moving forward.